Good evening. My name is Misty King, and I'm Colby's mom. You know the one who was killed in a car wreck on 411, as most people say? The death of a child isn't a shock to our family. We have endured it several times over the years. In 2008, my nephew Dustin passed away from cancer, shattering and devastating me. In 1975, my sweet Aunt Bound's daughter, Brandy, went to sleep to wake up in Jesus' arms. I knew my Aunt Mom had a daughter that died. Her picture hung on her living room wall, yet she was never really talked about until Colby left. And then I've made sure that she is brought up and remembered as well. I feel that she was not talked about because it was taboo back in those days. My poor sweet Aunt Mom. What she must have went through grieving in silence and alone. Those deaths, I feel, molded me in a way as to prepare me for what was to come. When Sandra asked me to be the guest speaker, I thought she was nuts. I still do. There is truly nothing special about me in my eyes. I am just a mama. A mama who has buried a child and learned how to survive one day at a time. So on February 27th, 2012, my 18-year-old son and I started the day out normal. We went to breakfast. We took Caleb, his little brother, to school, and we ran some errands. And I went to work while Colby worked on his car so he could start a new job the next day. I worked catering at Berry College and had a big event for 400 people that evening.
Matthew.
A plated event, which was a big deal. Colby called me around 5:45 p.m. Mom, in his long, country, drawn-out voice. What you got good to eat tonight? I told him, buddy, I'm slammed. I gotta go. I'll bring y'all leftovers. They loved the leftovers from Berry College. He said, okay, Mama, I love you. I said, I love you too. I rushed my son off of the phone for work. Little did I know, 46 minutes later, an 18-wheeler would T-bone my child, killing him instantly. Guilt. Let me tell you about guilt. Guilt eats me alive every day because I rushed that child off of the phone for work. I feel guilty I was at work when he left this world. I feel guilty that I couldn't save him. I feel guilty that as his mother, I let him down by not protecting him that night. Around 6:25, I got a phone call from a 256 Alabama number, and a lady asked me if I had a son. I told her, yes, ma'am. Is he okay? What's going on? She told me he had been in a wreck just over the Alabama line, and I screamed, is he okay? But I knew it in my heart and soul that he was not. You know that mama intuition it is? My friend and soul sister Stacy, who worked for me back then, drove me to Alabama. That was the longest drive of my life. Just over the line, we came up on horrible standstill traffic. Just lines and lines of stopped cars. I jumped out and I ran. I ran as fast as I could up that highway, right into my cousin Bradley's arms. He had beat me there because he already had heard the news. I was crying and screaming, is he okay? Bradley, is Colby okay? He just kept saying, I don't know. I don't know. Bradley later on told me that he already knew Colby was gone. He just could not tell me that. All I wanted at that moment was to get to that car stuck to the front of that blue big rig, and no one would let me go. Sometime in the next hour and a half or so, an Alabama state trooper comes to me with a clipboard in his hand, and he asks me if I was the boy's mama. I asked him, "Is my son okay?" He didn't answer me, and I asked him again, "Is my son okay?" He looks up so calmly and says, "He's deceased." I hit that man so hard I knocked his hat clean off his head to the ground. Fast forward 6.5 hours later, the volunteer fire department man of McCord's Crossroads finally got my child out of the car. I later learned they worked hard not to mangle his legs, which were trapped under the motor, because they could hear me screaming and crying down the road the whole time they were working to cut him out. The ambulance goes the opposite direction from us, and it had no lights on. I don't know why that's so important to me, but it didn't have lights on. And I kept asking everyone, where are they taking my child? My son's body had been placed in an ambulance and was driving away from me. I had no idea where he was going. He's my child, and I don't know where they're taking his dead body. My son is dead. Dead. How do I breathe, laugh, smile, live without my firstborn child, the child I grew up with? The next few days are a blur. I don't remember a lot, just that my son is dead. He is never going to say "Mama" in that long, drawn-out country voice again. I was placed on several prescription drugs in the weeks after Colby, and I died. Yes, I said I died too. Because the Misty I was on February the 27th, 2012, at 5:45 p.m., when he called me, died with him 46 minutes later. I functioned. I got Caleb up and off to school daily. I cooked. I cleaned. I worked. And when Caleb was in bed, I drank. I drank wine that I was having shipped to our house in the mail so that no one knew just how much I was drinking. I was over-medicated, barely breathing, drinking, and losing my mind. If Caleb was with his biological father, I didn't get out of the bed. I didn't eat. I just cried. Lord, I was so broken then. My poor husband, my sweet poor husband, we had just gotten married and I was going insane. There were times that he would beg me to get up, yet I just couldn't. When I did, I spent a lot of time on the back of his Harley, crying and begging for Colby to come back. There were times that I thought of ending my own life. How do I live without one of my children? I knew I could not do that. I had other children who needed me. I knew Caleb was struggling, and I couldn't leave him behind. He was only 9, and he had just lost his brother. In September of 2012, I said to Greg, I'm not coping or grieving. Greg, I'm drunk, and I'm high on pills, and I'm hiding. And just like that, I quit it all. I flushed the pills, which I do not recommend at all. There is a proper way to come off of prescription drugs, and that was not it. But nevertheless, that's how I did it. I quit drinking, and I started to learn how to breathe, 1 minute at a time. That's my motto. I take it 1 minute at a time. If I survive this minute, I'll worry about the next one then. No drugs, no booze, just a broken mama heart. A month later, Colby's girlfriend Tristan was killed in a head-on collision. Okay, God, What do you want from me? You took my son and now his girlfriend. I was so angry at God. How dare you? How selfish you are, God. I wouldn't even let someone speak of God to me. I would tell them, don't talk to me about God. He is so selfish and so cruel. I was angry with God for a very long time. And I don't think I will ever truly understand why God does the things he does. I have just learned that he always has a plan and a reason. I can understand why he needed my blonde-haired boy. I needed him in his presence here with me, and God needed his soul shine with him. I also know that I will see him again one day. But I have to live and continue on to do that. Colby's death didn't just change my life. It changed who I am today. There was a life with Colby, and now there is a life after Colby left. Left. That's usually what I say instead of died. I hate the D word. A girl I worked with had been telling me about compassionate friends, and she would say, you need to go to a meeting. It may help you. And I would say to her, Sarah, I do not want to hear this other people's sad stories. Good Lord, I have my own. In November of 2012, Greg and I went to our first meeting, and it was rough, let me tell you. It was emotional, yet informative. Listening to people who had been walking this walk for years say all of the things I was feeling, wow. It's okay to have happy moments and to make memories again. It's okay to be mad and sad too. I left that night thinking, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. I had been feeling like if I was happy, it was disrespectful to Colby. If I went on a vacation, it was rude to Colby. I mean, Colby isn't going to the beach. What kind of mother was I? I sat there that night and I listened to all of those other broken parents feeling the same way I had been feeling, and it helped me to understand that I was a normal angel mama. I was not going crazy. I was grieving. Oh my God, I'm grieving. We learned that night at that first meeting that the Candelight Vigil was going to be held on December the 9th, 2012, Colby's birthday. When we left that night, I told Greg maybe it's a sign from God. LOL, God. I was still mad at him and confused by his mistake of taking my child. But okay, let's do this. Greg and I, along with some of our other family members, attended that vigil, and it was so hard. I cried the whole time, yet afterwards I found myself wanting to attend another meeting. As time passed, I became very active in Compassionate Friends. I was on the board. I've flown to Arizona to attend conference. I've learned how to talk about Colby and listen to others share about their children. Greg and I, along with our other children, started Colby's Good Deeds. We would pay for someone's food at a restaurant by asking the waitress to not say who it was, just that we asked for them to pay it forward. We would sit to the side and watch as they looked around wondering why someone did that. We eventually had business cards made up that say, we are the family and friends of Colby Corn. We do good deeds in his memory, pay it forward. We sign the back of the cards by who we are, Colby's mama, or Colby's parents, or Colby's aunt and uncle, just whoever's doing it. When we go out and we do good deeds in his memory and share the card with someone, it makes us feel better knowing that someone knows he existed and he is loved. We have also created a Facebook page called Keeping Colby Corn Alive. We print out hundreds of pictures at a time and we write on the back of them sharing his story and asking people to let us know where they found the picture. Colby has been left all over the world by so many people. He's been on a Navy ship. He was left on Peter's tomb. He's been to Hawaii, England, Wild Bill Hitchcock's grave, and many other places. Sandra's sister, Karen, has even left in places for me. We have had messages saying, I found Colby's picture. Thank you so much for doing this. You have truly helped my family with this. We left him in a hotel one time in Maryville, Tennessee, and the housekeeper found him. She messaged me and told me that her brother had recently passed away and that her mother was not doing well. She would lay in bed all the time. She said she was going to show her mother the picture and the Facebook page and hoped that it gave her inspiration. Several months later, I got another message from her saying that her mother had started leaving her brother's picture places and that she and the 3 children that he had left behind found comfort in doing this. Wow. Some silly thing a shattered mama does so that people know that her child existed is helping other grieving and shattered families. Greg and I, over the years, have found lots of ways to include Colby in our lives still. I have his handwriting tattooed on me, as well as the portrait that is on his headstone. Greg has a cross. Caleb has a drawing that Colby drew for me years ago. We help buy a struggling family Christmas in his memory just about every year. I mean, why not? We can't buy Colby gifts, so why not buy for someone in his memory? Every year, we find a nonprofit and we do a motorcycle ride to raise money for them. We have donated to the U Harley Festival of Trees, Bartow County Lions Club, and this year, our ride in the spring of 2026 is to benefit Mission Is Possible, a nonprofit that helps special needs children. We chose this nonprofit because of his namesake and cousin, Colby Atlas. Atlas attends the monthly birthday club meetings that Mission Is Possible holds. It helps me to know that people know how much Colby is loved and is missed. I find comfort in knowing that Colby is loved and missed, and strangers now know he existed just because of that. Strangers seeing how hard we work in his memory to benefit others is a blessing to me. Every year on his Angel Day, I challenge all of our family and friends to go do good deeds in his memory. We've all gone and donated blood. We have bought and provided benches and swings to the Pine Log Men's Home in Morton County. We have cooked and provided several meals for those men that live there long term. Doing for others helps me to continue on in life. Greg and I have a Christmas tree with ornaments on it that are pictures of Colby. I usually put that tree up in October so that we can enjoy it longer. We still hang his stocking, and he always gets a new ornament for his personal tree, just like the other kids. We include him in everything we do in life 13 and a half years later. A week after Colby was killed, I had a personalized license plate put on my car that said, "One Colby." Still have it today. I am no longer active in Compassionate Friends. After several years, I felt I needed to move on and find another way to help myself and others in their grief journeys. I want to share with you tonight a little bit about gifts, or things that our children do to show us that they are still around. When Colby first left, I would ask him to give me signs that he was still here with us. The last family portrait that we had made with the 3 kids in it in August of 2011 hung in our living room. That picture would slightly turn every day, and I feel like it was Colby telling me he was still there. One night I had worked late, and when I got home from work, the front porch light was on. I had told Greg, "Thank you for turning the light on for me." LOL. That man was ghost white and said, "I didn't turn that light on. About 5 minutes ago it turned on." Colby didn't want his mama coming home in the dark. I also feel like Colby uses music. When I'm missing Colby or really struggling, I feel like he sends me songs that have memories for us. Songs from those years that the radio rarely plays now. And I always say, I hear you, son. I love you, kiddo. So look for the blessings and things that you feel like are sent from your children. Sit quietly. You will feel your children and their signs when you're ready. Compassionate friends and these people are truly lifesavers. I still have days where I feel like I'm drowning, but those days don't come as often. I think of Colby every single day. I miss him. I still talk to him as if he were here. I still cry. I still scream. And sometimes I even still question God. I've learned to stand up and fight the darkness that the death of a child brings. If I don't continue to live, how will the world know that my blonde-headed, country, mud-loving child existed? I will forever hurt and miss my son. I will forever be Colby's mama. You know, the one that was killed on 411 in the car wreck. But today I'm tougher. Time does not heal anything. Time makes you stronger and tougher. You can do this. You will do this and survive so that your child will live on. That is my story. So you see, I'm not special or even inspirational. I'm just Misty, Colby's mama. And I have figured out what works for me and is healthy in my survival. Survival of the unimaginable. Pain like this does not fade. It lives quietly in the background, waiting for reminders of our children to awaken it again. Therefore, I and us, surviving parents, will never forget or stop missing our children. Find people who listen to you, who know they can't fix it, but their presence helps. Do what you have to do to survive. If that's sitting a plate at a family dinner for your child, then do that. Do what is healthy and helps you. There is no expiration date on grief. Honor your loved ones how you see fit. Thank you for letting me share Colby with you.